Que lo que, mi gente? What's good, what's good? It's your boy Ruel, the Organic Fanatics. Welcome back. Just a little quick video today talking about last night's game. Last night we played the Indiana Pacers, a nemesis, a rival. Uh, Tough game after we've had a great win streak. We won 9-2 from our 2-9 start that we had. A lot of improvement from our team. Great defense the last couple of games. We did not see that yesterday. 137 to 134. We lose to Indiana at home at the Garden. Tough to go from holding teams down to under 100 points. And it wasn't a back to back. We have a back to back tonight. But the fact that we let them get 137 points, a lot of open threes all night. I mean, we were letting them shoot. I think they took 40 shots last night. They made 18 of 40 or 18 of 44. Um, a game that it's again, you flush this one down, but you got to start looking, get your microscope out and start looking in depth and things that can bite us later on in the butt. As a coach, I thought there was opportunities. I'm not harping on him to a sense, but there was areas of opportunity where he could have made some tweaks or some adjustments. I don't know why he went to a 9-man rotation, which was fine, but I thought there was maybe some other players who could have helped. The Indiana bench outscored our bench 40 to 18 or 42 to 18, something like that. Obviously, we're down OG. Obviously, we're down Deuce. So I'm not going to harp on it too bad, but there was some plays that could have been uh, adjusted. 42 minutes from Mikal Bridges is way too much. Um, Triple double from Josh. He also had about 40 minutes played as well. Way too much, especially someone who's been having ankle injuries, has been had back and issues before. You want to try to not have him break down. That was a little Tibbetish, in my opinion. A lot of minutes there. I thought he could have played some other players. And the point that we were saying before, when we to get Jose Alvarado, which salute to him, that was his first game at the Garden. 4 points, 5 assists. It wasn't as good as the initial game that he played, but still played very good. Out there hustling, diving, 5 assists. He's playmaking. So he's making all the right moves. A lot of pressure that game, I guess, with his family too. But um, Indiana was ready. They circled this game on their calendar. Anytime they see us, they're up for that game. And I think the Knicks just kind of let the rope go and just say, hey, this is a 13-win team. Kind of like what happened with Sacramento. These teams that, that they're losing, they're going to tank, that they're not going to come out and play aggressive with us. They were wrong. So that's something that we need to get back to the drawing board. I didn't see a lot of communication from the players at all. So players, we've been talking big on how communication has been a big thing. I didn't see a lot of it, except when Diawara was in the game. You can see him pointing, yelling, where to go. Jose was doing the same thing, but from the starters, I didn't see much of that yesterday. I saw a great effort from them, talent-wise, trying to do the best they can. We did have 33 assists, which normally leads to wins, but it's a fact that we didn't have defense that was not swinging, that was not calling out plays, was not helping each other out, making the game a little bit easier for themselves. So that was interesting to see. Those two plays. Again, I'm harping on it a little harder for Mike Brown, but where is he a player's coach? Is he not a player's coach? That's to see. Is he an X and Y coach? I'm still trying to figure that out about him. What is his coaching style? I'm trying to give him a fair chance, but I'm trying to assess what kind of coach is he. At least Thibodeau, you knew he was a defensive coach. You knew what he was going to bring to the table. You knew what he was not good at or what his area opportunity was, whether it was getting other players involved in the team and not stretching the team so thin. So you knew what to expect out of Mike Brown. I have yet to figure out halfway through the season what his coaching style is, what he's, it's a little frustrating to see a little bit, which again, it's just figuring out it's his first year. I'm trying to give him that grace on there. But the fact that it's been a couple of plays, multiple games where he doesn't call a challenge. I'm not sure if he's always trying to wait for the last part of the game, like he did I think when 40 seconds left, when it was already over, done and over with at that point for the most part. I think there was, which they lost. I think there was two other plays. There was one with Mikal Bridges where he was adamant he didn't touch the guy. maybe I can see that one, maybe because he probably had his hand on him a little bit. But at some point, you got to take the risk in losing one for your player. You know what I mean? Because this was a game that this is a losing team. So is it really going to mean anything, for them winning? Not much for them. But for us, pride, it's a rivalry. You have to understand what the rivalry for the Knicks are. The other one with Cat, you see Cat getting all these fouls. He's playing well. He gave you a double double, leading with rebounds, and you're seeing that he didn't get this foul, and if you would have challenged that, I think that would have helped Cat. After that, he started going even more harder on the referees as far as fouls, screaming fouls. So you're leaving it up to the player, save the player from himself. I said this multiple times, where you're saving him from him, to or reeling him in. There was times where the game's getting away from him that he needs to call timeouts, regroup the team. I don't see where he does the regrouping until it's too far. There was a lot of lead changes, about 39. But I don't see him. I haven't seen him where he's calling timeouts and be like, getting the team reassembled, getting them redialed in, refocused. So there's still a little bit of lackluster that I'm seeing from him, especially like games like this, again, the one in Sacramento. And he's doing good. The team's doing good overall. But these small things can bite you in the butt later on in the playoffs. So I'm hoping to see if he can dial that in. Get the players' trust. The players have to feel that they can trust their coach. If not, they're not going to start listening to you. Then you're going to start having where they're just going to do whatever they want and maybe not read the player or whatever because they don't feel you got their back to a certain extent. Hopefully it doesn't happen. It's still too early, but you can see that that's a trend that's been happening with Mike Brown as to why he's gotten fired mid-season or he loses the locker room early because he has to. Yes, you can be a certain aggressive, tough coach, whatever, but you still have to have where the players can trust you and feel that you are a leader of men. You know what I mean? And is he tailoring to the front office to keep a job? Is he trying to be too nice to everybody? Is being too nice to the refs, too nice to the other opponents, too nice to the front office? You have to have a stand somewhere. You got to stand your ground. There has to be somewhere where you can stand and count on, not where you can just be appeasing to everybody. You're a coach, and it's not an easy job, and you're not meant to be liked by everyone, but you're just there to get the job done. And the job is getting done. The players are being efficient in their own skill set, but Kolek only getting 5 seconds yesterday when your team is struggling, when their bench is struggling, you're playing Brunson. Brunson's getting tired. Alvarado, he could have played the Alvarado and Kolek together, like how he's done with Kolek. I mean, like he's done with Brunson and Alvarado, Brunson and Deuce, Brunson and Kolek. That is dynamic has worked well. So I know you want to bring Alvarado in because you just got him in there, but if the Kolek Brunson dynamics been working for a while. Try that, and then bring in the third guard. He could bring Jose to give some minutes, with Kolek and Brunson. Even though it's small, but you got three guards that can spread the floor, shoot, facilitate. Even for a spurt. And that's something that I didn't think he saw. That he was trying to maybe appease too much for Alvarado because his first game or whatever. But I think Kolek could have helped out in certain spots. I thought he kept the team in, knowing that they just gave all they gave in the fourth quarter to go to overtime. Maybe a minute in, 30 seconds in, give a quick substitution, give a breather to some of the players. Bring back the Owara. You saw that they went on a run, call a timeout instantly, get some other players. The Owara can defend on Pascal. He can help out the players. You could have brought Alvarado in, something like that with a Shamit to give these other guys a breather, even if it's 30 seconds to a minute. There's only 5 minutes in overtime. They were gassed, their legs were gone, and then there goes the game. It's a one game. Yes, you can ball it up and throw it in the trash, but there's certain small things that keep creeping up that he needs to address. Them not talking was where he needs to be calling a timeout. We're letting these guys get easy shots to the three. He has to reel the team in. So that's what I've been looking for. I'm gonna look forward to just looking forward in these losses where you can learn things. Wins, everything looks good. Maybe you let some of the same behaviors slip in the wins, but you got to catch it. Like, he has to reel them in. We're not talking anymore, guys. What happened? We're doing this. And he needs to start coaching now. I don't see the X's. I haven't seen the X's and O's or dialing in. I'm not harping too much on him. This is just one game. It's going to go in the trash. but he should have played more players. I obviously thought McCullard, especially because, and I'm only saying this because we have a back-to-back tonight. We play the 76ers tonight. He was trying to save the team and save Mitch so we can play a big game against Philadelphia, but not, this whole week, next 2 weeks is a lot of tough games where coach management, player management is very important. So he had to anticipate this was a rivalry, and if it, that there's a certain point that if it's too tough, get some other players. McCullough could have helped, and Jemison could have helped a little bit in some roles. So this is a game that he should have gone deep in the bench, especially with Rick Carlisle. Rick Carlisle goes deep in the bench often. This was a game that he could have matched. Especially, this is why when we got rid of Tibbs is because he was using a small rotation against Indiana. You're playing a small team, but you played 7, 8 players against a team that's playing 10, 12, almost 15 deep all the time with Indiana. A lot of their bench players were scored. Jones scored like 20 points. They had the other kid, Bryant, had 15 players you never heard before. But these young players are getting burned, which that would have helped our players, our youthful players, Kolek, McCullard, Dottie. Let some of these players get some of the burn to give the break for the vets, and then they can come in and turn on and go off. So I thought it was a missed opportunity from the head coach, is what I'm saying, on a couple of plays. I would like to see him do a little more adjustments in game adjustments. A little lackluster for me. The players, to let a game go like that slip, that's on the players. Them not rotating, not talking. Sometimes you just don't have it. It's up to the players where the coach, if you see it, you got to make the adjustment. Yo, Bridges, you ain't got it tonight. You played him 40 something minutes. That's a hell of a lot of minutes. He could have put McCullard in there. He could have. There's other stuff. You got to see that. And if they got a uniform on, put them out there. Win, lose, win with the style of coaching that you were brought in to do. That didn't happen last night. So I'm gonna wave that off. Another one. It's gonna be a tough game tonight. The team is extremely gassed. So now what you should have done in this game with Indiana, with the players and depth chart that you have, now you're forced to do it against Philly with younger, more athletic players, more skilled players. Now you're forced to do it on a team that makes it even tougher for the veterans, even tougher for these first year players. Now they got to be at a higher peak when they could have been better against Indiana. So I don't know. I think it's a missed opportunity. It's going to be a tough game tonight. We got Philly. It's going to be a lot of tired legs. An overtime game, 137 points. Brunson had 40. Salute to him, 40 and 8. Josh's triple double went to waste. Salute to Cat. Cat also coming into play. Cat's been getting in rhythm. He's over 20 and he's giving you double. So his offense is coming back little by little. It hasn't been consistent with the 3-point shot, but better than giving you 6 and 4 or something small like that. He's still been consistent with the rebound, so he's getting in there. His complaining about fouls has got to stop, but that's feet movement. That's him not trusting the coach to have his back and call. There was a game, I think it was like 2 games ago, where he didn't have a foul until the fourth quarter, and then I think he fouled out. They gave him 4 in that fourth quarter. So he was doing good, but the coach, again, has to save him from himself, help the player out, and get involved with that. I'm going to be looking at challenges. I'm going to be looking how Mike Brown addresses the refereeing instead of just talking to him on the side. And if they make a terrible call, not just talking to him, make him review the call. I'm annoyed by yesterday's game, as you can tell. That's a rivalry. He has to understand who the rivals are. Heat, Indiana, they're going to come ready to play. The players have to understand the rivalry games and be ready for that. But flush them down the toilet. It's going to be a tough game tonight. Now he has to play 12 players. You got to have the McCullards. You got to have Diawara, obviously. You got to see Kolek tonight. Kolek has got to get some burn. You can't just completely shelf him. Even 5 minutes would help alleviate. He's someone who knows the system a little better than Alvarado, and I'm Alvarado Hive. But you got someone who knows the team. The team knows Kolek. He knows where they like to be. He can he can facilitate more and shoot threes just as good. And then in bringing Alvarado with him, play Brunson and Kolek, and then take Brunson out, and then Kolek and Alvarado. Something like that would work, where you're easing in Kolek, where he can still facilitate, get the players in the right. He knows the system already. That's a lot of pressure for Alvarado, that you just throw him out there and expect him to figure out what you've been doing since summer camp. So tough game to see. It's going to be a challenging one today. I'm not predicting anything. I look for a hard fought game. Coach Brown, I'm looking for challenges tonight. I'm looking for depth rotation. I'm looking for play calling, and I'm looking for timeouts to make sure you call them in time, to make sure you can reel in the team. So I'm looking from here on out, I'm looking for coaching. Next 5, 10 games, how he coaches, win or lose, how he is coaching, how he's getting the team better in preparation for the playoffs, because that's coming. It's only going to be harder, tighter, more depth for the playoffs coming. The games are only going to get more intense. So I'm looking to see how his coaching is going to get involved. That's all I got for you guys today. You heard? You're